Welcome to Carlton's Math Corner. Today we're going to be discussing surface area of a rectangular prism. To begin, please make sure that you are ready to learn. You got your math journal as well as your vocabulary packet. Well, our target today is I can find the surface area of rectangular prisms. Surface area is the sum or the total, using addition, of all the faces of a three-dimensional figure. And so what we're doing though with those faces is we are finding the sum of the area of all of the faces. And so we're going to be calculating the area of all the sides of a three-dimensional figure and then adding them all together and getting a sum. And so surface area is kind of like if I took uh, a box, any kind of rectangular prism. It could be like a Kleenex box or anything. I could take that and wrap it with wrapping paper, but I did not overlap any wrapping paper at all. So I basically cut out each rectangular side and I taped it together on the box. That would be surface area. Surface area is not dealing with the inside of the prism, it is dealing with the outside, the surface of it. And so what we're doing is we're trying to figure out how much space would it take to cover the whole figure. And we're only going to focus on rectangular prisms. And so we're only going to look at finding the area of a rectangle and basically calculating how many rectangles there are on that prism and adding them together. And so this rectangular prism, this is kind of like a Kleenex box. And this rectangular prism basically has been cut apart. So they cut the top, they basically cut right here. They cut the top and they folded it open. So the sides are cut open and everything. So everything lies flat. And so on a rectangular prism, there's always a top and a bottom, okay? And then there's a front and a back, and there's a side and a side. So there's always those 6 faces on a rectangular prism. And so our job to find the surface area is find the area of each of those 6 sides or 6 faces and add them together. Well, the cool thing about this is that if you notice, the sides are going to be equal to each other because they are parallel to each other and they're straight across from each other. The back and the front are going to be equal to each other because they are also parallel and straight across from each other. And then the top and the bottom are going to also be equal. So it makes our job easier. We don't have to find 6 different areas. We really only have to find 3 different areas. And then we just need to double them so that we make sure that we cover all 6 faces. So let's look. Here is a rectangular prism. And if I wanted to find basically the surface area of this, I need to separate the front, back, top, bottom, side, side. So let's start off with the front and the back. And we are going to highlight this with red. Can you tell me, first of all, if I'm looking at the front, so this is the front, okay, this would be the front, the back would be straight across from here, back in the back. Okay, so it's kind of like would be back here, but not on this face, it would be just right behind it. Can you tell me, how could I find the area of this rectangular shape? Because this rectangular shape is the same shape in the back. You just can't see the back right now. So how can you find the area of this rectangle? Well, remember, area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. So let's calculate length times width. So what would be the length? Yep, the length is 4. So let's take 4. And then what would be the width? How could I figure out this right here? Yeah, if I just look straight back, do you notice that this side is the same length as this? So that means that this side is 5. And so I am going to use that as part of my formula. So I'm going to take 4 times 5, and the answer is 20. Well, we found so far the area of the front, but there also is a back. So what do I do with the 20 so that I use it twice? Because I need to use 20 for the front, 20 for the back. Yeah, I'm going to multiply by 2. If I multiply by 2, I get 40. And that would be my total then for the front and the back. That's the total area for front and back. Okay, how about the next one? Top and bottom. This is going to be a tricky one. Okay, so top is up here. How do I know, because I don't see any measurements at all, how do I know what length this is and what length this is? Because I need a length and a width to calculate this. Yeah, look straight across. Remember, rectangles always have parallel sides that are equal. So if I look straight across, I notice that this 4 is the same as this 4. So I'm going to take 4 times, and if I look at this diagonal line, it's not really diagonal, it just looks like that because it's going off into the distance. Know that on a rectangular prism, everything is flat, everything is straight. It's just drawn like this so that it looks three-dimensional. Now, it is the same as 6 down here. So we're going to do 4 times 6. So the answer is 24. But know that the top is 24. That means the bottom is also 24. So I'm going to multiply by 2, and we get 48. Okay, next one. Let's do side to side. So if I do one of the sides, and let's do this side. Well, I actually see the numbers that I'm going to use. I'm going to use 6 and I'm going to use 5. And so I'm going to take 6 times 5 and I get 30. But I know if one side is 30, then the other side is 30. So I'm going to do times 2 and the answer is 60. So now I have 40 for area front and back, 48 for top and bottom, and 60 for side to side. And so I am going to add those two together, or add those 3 together, I should say. So I'm going to take 40 plus 48 plus 60, and I get 148. And do you know how to label surface area? Notice it's got the word area in it. And what that means is we're going to label it just like we would normally label area. And that means we're going to label it with a squared. So my answer for surface area is 148 centimeters squared. For tomorrow, what I'd like you to do is try this problem and find the surface area of this rectangular prism. Thank you so much for joining me at Carlton's Math Corner, and I look forward to meeting with you again.